Peace and love, everyone. Sending you all positive energy, high vibrations, success on your entrepreneurship, all love, and all positivity. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the ancient family, the original elites, the extraterrestrial beings that are in control of all ancient families. Okay? So, 333 on the clock. So, when we speak about the extraterrestrial, also known as higher intelligent beings, also known as aliens, we're speaking of a very powerful energy, very powerful extraterrestrial, five-dimensional, six-dimensional, infinity dimensional beings. Okay, so the story was they came to Earth and they made it with humans. Okay, and what had happened is they got into a war with the offsprings, and that's what caused the confusion, chaos, and fighting, and all bad things. Okay, so but before then, they came to Earth, and they came to Earth to bring knowledge, higher intelligence, different dimensions knowledge, so we can travel astral plane, because once we do connect with the higher intelligent beings, we connect with a higher frequency of dimension that we go to. They also was known to bring good food, good health, healing, quinoa, which was a healing grain as well. So, couple years back, I had did a little research, and a guy had actually had an experience with the higher intelligent beings. He went and he meditated, went to tap into higher frequencies, and he spoke to one, and they told him that they was here, and they came here from actually a woman's womb as well. Okay, and they were here to bring enlightenment, to bring joy, to bring oneness, to bring everybody at one seat, just like the White House. And yeah, I just heard that heard that noise. They confirming it. So, actually, when we connect on higher planes, different dimensions, we start meditating, connecting with our higher self, get in balance with seven body chakras, doing all the initiations spiritually and physically, connecting, coming one with the mind, body, and spirit. Once we do, we are able to connect with them. Okay, they already had said that they feel the need to reveal themselves. So if we tap in and we ask for them to reveal themselves, they is showing up. Okay, I connect with them all the time. I love them. Just connect with them earlier today, meditating, and they're beautiful, but they're going to help us on our journey. We all are chosen. We all have a higher power here that we can connect to. So, doing a little research a while back, researchers had went to a place called Black Sea, and it was located in Kemet, and what happened was they found billions of elongated skulls. Okay, and once they took the elongated skulls to the lab and they researched, they had found the mitochondrial gene, okay, that is connected with divine oneness. Okay, it's connected with the animals, the trees, the plants, the spiritual beings, us. Okay, everyone has a connection with the mitochondrial gene. So it's known as the God gene. Okay, it is divine source of creation through all of us that's showing we one collective consciousness and we're all on one accord. We all connected. So that's interesting. So they had the mitochondrial gene in their DNA, and they also had a small amount of human DNA. Okay, so from the stories, what had happened was they came to Earth, okay, to bring love, to bring peace, to bring higher learning, and they connected and mated with humans. Okay, so once they mated with humans, what had happened is they end up getting into a war with the offsprings, and that caused it chaos, corruption, and separation among the earth. Okay, so as we look at the higher intelligent beings, they is the first ones, the original, known to be the serpents. Okay, so when we think of serpent, we have many different interpretations. Okay, and when we look into different religion, it all boils down to we're all one accord. We're all actually worshiping the same thing, which is these higher power elites. Okay, and everything starts with them. Okay, so for an example, as Jesus Christ, okay, he was caught, beaten, and crucified, right? So he died, but he died and then he became reborn again. Okay, resurrection. So he rose from the dead, and once he did, okay, what had happened was he was accompanied by messengers of light. So the higher intelligent beings was connected with Jesus Christ. Okay, he was their descendant. Okay, so the bloodline protected and defended and controlled the entire universe. Okay, of ancient higher intelligent beings. Okay, they is the original elites. Okay, they came to teach all mankind. Okay, so the snake was symbolic to how the snake skin sheds. Okay, death and rebirth, resurrection. Okay, also it stood for devotion. Okay, so they left behind their seeds of power to communicate knowledge throughout the universe. Okay, this knowledge is crystallized. It's all over in Christianity and Hinduism in India and China. Everyone is worshiping the serpent. Okay, even in Upper Kemet is a Pacific picture of the serpent that's left to be viewed so everyone can see the knowledge of the serpent, of healing, of immortal power, okay, of strength, of higher levels of consciousness, of death and rebirth, resurrection. Okay, so always be familiar with that. So for over 5,000 years, before Christ, okay, the serpent was worshipped. Okay, and that's the root of all gods and the roots of all religion. Okay, that is the holy bloodline of all. Okay, so when we talk about the serpent, we're gonna go and we're gonna break down certain interpretations in the Bible. Far as Eve. Okay, now Eve, she spoke from the tree of life to the serpent to receive her knowledge. Okay, so this was hidden in the Bible, so we all are familiar with that, and that's why. Okay, even in Alabama, when I was doing a lot of researching, they have a river called I believe it's the Black Snake, and it's made in the form of a serpent. Okay, it's a lot of knowledge of the serpent. That's why it's worldwide. Okay, because that's the beginning. That's the core of creation. Okay, so the serpent is hidden in all religions and authorities. Okay, the serpent roots of religion is the original from the scriptures and also astronomy. Okay? So the serpent was the only one to speak freely in the Bible, okay, and use the mind, the knowledge in their voice. Okay, the only animal to speak freely. Always be mindful of that. So we have to understand the language of the serpent. And on our journey, we connect with time and space. And once we connect with time and space, we're connecting with the knowledge of the serpent. It was also known as Eb, Oath in certain religions, okay? And also Canning. Canning was like meaning wise snake, okay? So once we tap into the ancient word, it meant Canning like the wise snake, okay? And also, it also meant in a language of the Mayans, okay? And that was the first, Mayans was one of the first ancient families as well, too, along with the Sumerians, okay? And they language meant serpent, okay? So when they spoke of Canaan, it meant serpent in Mayan, okay? And the ancient word as well had the meaning of Canaan, like snake, okay? Wise snake, devotion, higher learning, death and rebirth, also the light. Now, when we're dealing with the serpent, we all do know once it's coiled down at the bottom of our spine, we have to reach a higher level of consciousness by activating that Kundalini energy. Okay, so the two snakes sits at the bottom of the back of our spine. Okay, 33 vertebrae, and it rises, and we get wings, like we fly into the afterlife, like the Ba, and then it opens, it crystallizes. Okay, so the serpent is also known as the light, the shining light within us, also known as the sun, also known as the Christ consciousness. Okay, so we have to be familiar with all these wordings, because what it is the mind coding of knowledge of ancient history that is now crystallized, that is now throughout the universe. And it's for us to take advantage of the knowledge, be aware of it, take the information so we can elevate in life. And after we elevate, we can help others elevate. Okay? Always be familiar with that. So the fire light also is symbolic to the ancient higher intelligent beings, the original elites. The fire of the UFO is symbolic to the light and in the sky where they came down from. Okay, they were connected to a woman's womb. Everything in the universe enters from a portal. Okay, 360, which is a woman's womb in nature. Okay, everything begins with the woman, even in the plants, the flowers, even with the animals. Okay, so we have the teachings from the Kabbalah, the 7 Hermetic principles, gender, male and female. Everything begins with that woman. Okay, always be familiar with that. Also, light meant fire, the original worship of the snake. The fire is the origin of worship. Okay, so for the Vatican that sits in the center, okay, that was known as prophet. And the can, how I said can, meant wise serpent, and serpent, can is symbolic to serpent. So Vatican, prophet, serpent, worship. Okay, so the Vatican was a place of worship for the serpent. Okay, so that was also symbolic to the center of creation, the center of Christianity. Okay, just be mindful when we tap into the Bible. Okay, they speak about operating from the center. When we tap into geometry, it speaks about everything begins with the black void from the center. If we look at the geometry figures, the flower of life, the tree of life, everything has that point, that void, which starts at the center. The center is core of creation. Every consciousness begins at the center and it expands itself out. Always be familiar with that. Okay, so the light in the sky is the descendant to the earth where the ancient families came from. Out of them UFOs, out of them fire ships. Okay, they also said that when I was researching Giza Plateau, okay, they travel in fire ships, spaceships, over the mountains. They're all over there out. And sometimes, yep, they reveal themselves to me. I see them in the sky and I know it's Dale. I'll be like, that's Dale. Because one minute they'll be like, I look up and they'll do a little signal. Then I look back up again, they be gone. So them Lightspeed spaceships, they are among us. Okay? And they be watching us. They be looking down. They know there's the original giants. Okay? They are here. So, also in China, they know as the dragon people. They call them the dragon people as well. Okay? So, they did something in Christianity. It's called the cup of Christ. Okay? And it was really symbolic to the worship of the serpent. Okay? So, what they did was they took and they had like the blood, it's supposed to be of Jesus Christ that they drunk, but it was symbolic to the serpent. The cup of the serpent represented the body and the blood of the ancient race. Okay? So always be familiar with that. Christ is a reincarnated, what they say, a being that is known as the descendant, working for the ancient family, for the great servant. Okay? I always be mindful of that. So it was a lot of different actual ancient symbols that they left. And once they left the symbols, it was like spread it throughout Kemet. Like, for an example, we had a Set, okay? And she held the symbol of the snake was given to her for health, beauty, love, healing, okay? And be mindful, the eternal life symbol it also stood for. So the serpent was symbolic to many different interpretations. Like I said, it was also used in Hebrew, Greek, India. Okay, the serpent was known as the prophet. Okay, so they had a Mondois in a little small town, right, where it came from in the city, and it was a bulb. It looked like kind of favor. What is that? Mars. That's the fire, the red. When you see Mars, it'd be like that red, that fire energy, because it stands for war. It's fire, it's red, and also it has light in it. Well, they had a small, looked like a globe of Mars sitting right in the center of Mondois, and it was where they traveled through, the serpent. So the pictures was also left in Kemet on the walls, and they had symbols like in straight lines, and it was symbolic to the snake coils. Okay, always be mindful of that. So when we looking at it now, we look at it and we see it, we'll be familiar with where did the serpent come from. Okay, the original eternal life, death and rebirth. Okay, prophecy, higher level of wisdom. Okay, a set healer. Okay, empath, very powerful energy. Devotion means servant. Okay, so also the servant, what it did is it reside over the Pharaoh's head. Okay, so it protected and guided the pharaohs in their houses for protection. So when we looking at Kemet and you see they have the snakes, the cobras, and the pythons, the different snakes, and then you got them going down. Okay, then you have them going up. Well, when they going down, that represents divine feminine energy as well. It's like the Kundalini energy, because we step in our powers going down. Okay, and the males up. So that's symbolic to the males. So always be mindful of that. I looked that up, and that is the energy of the Kundalini energy. Okay, so far as the man and magical energy, the pharaohs, they more powerful when they take and harness their sexual energy without having sex. They build their Kundalini energy up more when they do that. When they don't release for a while, they give them power. Okay, and if you ever watch boxing, the males are always told when they're training that they can't have sex because they gotta keep their energy and their drive, their power. They more high vibrating when they don't release. 222 is on the clock. Hey! I wish I could screenshot it. It went past. Okay, y'all. So it went past. I couldn't screenshot it. 222. I made a video about 222. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. You all, I am new to this channel, and I'm going to be posting pictures of every individual thing that I discuss. I probably have to just come back and go underneath the description below and post them so you all can be familiar with what I'm teaching about, so you can actually see the symbols. Symbols is actually ancient. It's very powerful. When we view them and we look at them, we know exactly what we're looking at. Okay, like I said, the servant, and like I said, they was left in Upper Kemet to represent the actual healing. Okay, the symbol. So when you see it, you'll be like, okay, that's the serpent. That is the original elites, over the ancient families. You already know. Okay, that's the prophecy. That's the wisdom. Okay, so as we get more familiar with who we are, we tap into ancient knowledge, and we are able to take the ancient knowledge and help us so we can vibrate on a high frequency, and we can be able to tap into all the powerful energy of the divine oneness from the center and be able to manifest the glorious reality. Tap into the God source. Okay, always be familiar with that. So the knowledge of the past is now being put to the forefront, okay, to our future. And that's what the golden age is symbolic to. It's about enlightenment. It's about flourishing. It's about the more powerful energy of the sun, okay, and the higher level of consciousness is raising on the planet. So this was symbolic too. Okay, so I just wanted to shed some light on the original elites, okay, the ancient family, the higher intelligent beings, I love you all. I'm sending you all positive energy, high vibration, success on your entrepreneurship. I love you all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. You hit the like button and you leave any comments or questions in the description below. I love you all. Peace and love.